everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Joey Evans.
I'm Roy Candy.
I'm Chris Yee.
Today we're taking a look at a game from Brazil called
Isso and Mayo.
And the English translation is It's Mine. Have you ever been in a situation, Uncle Herbert has died, and everyone is going there, and now you're arguing like all get out over who gets what?
His record collection is vastly important to me.
And
Give me
his
those
TV.
skates. I need at least two skates. I can't go with just one skate.
You get it one skate. And the TV is so nice.
I actually don't understand this. I've heard horror stories about families fighting over that. I would never want to be part of that. But in a board game, I'm all about it.
Yes.
So this is an I split, I choose game. That didn't make sense to me either when I first heard about it.
No.
Let me show you. In this game, players are dividing up an inheritance left behind and by your uncle, Uncle Howard, and players are going to be trying to get things that are worth various amounts of items. The game's going to be played till this deck is gone, and the size of the deck will vary based on the number of players. On a player's turn, they're going to draw a card from the deck equal to, well, depending on the number of players. So in a 4-player game, you would draw 9s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're going to put these cards middle of the table, and they're going to split these cards into different groups and equal to the number of players. So there's 4 players. So let's see. I'll put these two together. This is record player with the record, but with a negative card. And then these two, and maybe these two. This seems to be the worst lot because there's a negative card with it. But, you know what, though? I want this lot here, even though it has a negative card in it. So, starting with the player who split them, they're going to say, I want this lot here, putting their next to it. Now, all the other players have to agree. So, let's say I pass it to Z. Z says, I agree. Roy says, I agree. Camilla says, no, I want that lot. And so she puts her token on, and I get mine back. However, Camilla has to put, at the beginning of the game, everyone will have gotten 5 of these dollars. She has to add $1 to one of the lots that she doesn't want. Well, that makes that lot a little bit better. So then we go around the table again. Z and Roy agree, and I say, no, I actually want it. I really want that. I'll add $1 to something else. I'll throw the same dollar in there. This time, Camilla agrees to let me have it. So then I turn my tile over. I take these cards, put them in my hand, and I'm out of this round. So now the next person, Z says, well, I'll take this one with all the money. And he puts his token on it. Camilla says, no, I want it. But again, she has put $1. Now, if you don't have dollars, then you can't, place. You're going to have to just let someone get it. But this is going to go back and forth so everyone is out and has taken some of these. And you'll get all the dollars that come with the lot that you take. Now, in between rounds, there is a special thing that can happen in which all the cards, the money cards, are forced to be distributed. There's a card that shows this between the players. Any player can invoke this. So let's say I end the round and I have 10 money and Roy has 5. Roy can say, I want us all at the same amount. So I give Roy some of mine to even us all out. But just to keep things fair, whenever I give money to Roy, I will take coins equal to the amount of coins that I gave. So people who lose the big amounts of money don't really lose points. They'll get to keep these coins. After all the cards and rounds have gone through and all the cards deck have been turned up, players are going to check to see how much each of the cards will score, plus these dollars which will score, plus the coins which will score, and whoever has the most points is the winner. So let's talk about what the different cards do. First of all, these purple cards, I said they were negative. At the end of the game, they will kill one other card that you have, so you just need to keep that in mind as they show up, and they're taking from Uncle Howard's stuff. The knickknacks, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. Here, if you have none of them, you lose 3 points, but you can get up to 12 if you have 4 of them. We have wild, wild suitcases. These can count as anything except for TVs and radios. When one of these shows up, everyone also gets an extra $1. So everyone starts with 5, but you can get up to 8 with the 3 suitcases thrown in the game. These nice wine glasses here, you can see that each of them is going to score points. Whoever has the most is going to get 12 points. And the second most will get 6, and third most will get 3. Percussion instruments are nothing unless you have 3 of them, in which case now they're worth 10. A TV and a radio are each worth 3, but if you have the other one, now they're worth 5. If you get a record player, your records are $2, but with the record player, they become more valuable. A skate is worth nothing by itself, but a pair of ice skates will give you 5 points. By the way, here's the record player, and that gives you points equal to the number of records that you have. That's it. Also, don't forget, of course, dollars and coins are worth points also. So Z pointed out that this is an actual really slow auction game. He compared it to Cargo Noir, a game I don't like. I never really thought of it that way because at 2 players, it really sings. We played a 2-player game where you're like, dollar, 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 dollar. Hang on, I'll take it. Because you're only splitting into 2 sections.
Right.
Yeah. So it's technically an auction, but you're auctioning for. Yeah, because the money. Okay, yeah.
It's like the no thanks auction,
right?
Where you throw a token on to not take something.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah. I think it works really well, though. I
like it.
It feels fresh, even though technically that's all it is.
It goes back and forth a lot with that bidding. Like, holy smokes, especially if somebody's like, I'm out. Oh no, I'm back in. Oh, I'm out. It's like, oh my goodness. What is the value? Like, making the value judgments on that stuff is kind of like.
And it's so funny to be able to bid those. I mean, just to see people just drop the dollars, and then the redistribution of the money. You're like, but now you have victory points, you know?
Right.
So the redistribution of the money is something that's driving me a little batty.
Yes.
You don't like it?
I don't dislike it, but they're like, it's optional. And I can't think of why you would ever not do it.
Right.
If I have $3 and you have 8, yes, I want us to both have 4.
Yeah.
The numbers are off, but same thing.
Yeah.
You're going to get some points.
Right.
But I don't lose anything by you getting them.
You technically gain points by taking those dollars, especially if you end up.
Well, you
getting
don't gain
more
anything because he
dollars.
gets the same, but I get more power in the round.
Yeah, but when there's multiple people, you know, it does actually matter, and you're not playing 2 players.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think it's a good rule because you could get stuck with no money. And I bet in playtesting, one guy was like, I take all the money, and now money's out of the game.
Yeah, that came up in playtesting. That was fixed there. I think that was like an
It feels a little bit clunky the way that they solved it, though, I guess, a little bit. So
I agree. It's not elegant, but I can't think of a way to do it. I also don't quite understand the 3 suitcases when you flip them over, another $1 for everybody. But who cares? You just prolong. I mean,
just
since the
prolongs
money's
the round,
split
right?
out, why not just leave it with those 5? I don't. That was. But I do like the concept of the splitting part. I like the idea that if I wanted to, if I'm playing a 3-player game, I'm like, okay, I'm going to split these. I think it's 7 cards. I'm putting 4 cards, 1 and 1, you know, or something, or 5 cards, 1 and 1.
Your math is a little rough today. So.
Yeah, it is a little. But so I have one really good set.
Right.
And I say, I want that set. Well, now we're going bonkers to see who can get that set. The other sets might end up with like $7 each.
right.
Yeah, you don't have to do it terribly even in this game, which is a nice change of pace, right? Because most iSplit you choose tends to be, if you're the splitter, you get the last pile that's left.
Right.
And that's not the case with this. I think that's why it feels more clever. You can really be incentivized to throw a lot in one.
It's always interesting, like, doing that splitting value judgment and trying to figure out, in a high player count game, like, who do you want to, like, actually let take that thing, you know? And in some ways, it almost feels a little bit memory-ish, because, like, you're like, okay, who has the most antiques? Do I need to be passing them on this? Okay, he has 1 skate. He's going to want another skate. Okay, he's got the record player, so he's probably going to want a bunch of records. It's like, but Joey doesn't have that stuff yet, so maybe I'll just let Joey have that. It's just, there's a lot of things to try to keep track of that aren't readily apparent, like, while you're playing the game. It's like, just because all of your scores are kind of like hidden a little bit, so it's kind of like, And by the end, you're just like, I had no clue what was going on.
2 and 3 players seem maybe best for that reason.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah, and 2-player in particular, it's just fun to just kind of really be head-to-head. Like, you know, if you didn't take it, your opponent has it. Oh, we saw a lot of records out, and I have no records. That's bad.
Yeah.
I like it best at 2, actually.
I do too.
Which is odd, because I didn't dislike it at 4.
No.
But 2 just really sung, and there's very few games like this that work at 2. I argue with Chris all the time. He'll say, I played this at 2, and I'm like, how could you play it at 2? That game doesn't work at 2. This one does.
I thought this would work better at 4 than it did. At 2, I was like, oh, this would be great at 4. I'm like, no, I missed it at 2. Yeah.
So just like a real inheritance, you want to split it with less people, is what you're saying.
That's probably true. This
Theming.
is so thematic.
The theming.
Yeah, dripping with theme.
It's a little card game, so if you're watching this, I don't know who's bringing it to the English-speaking audience, but you can get it from Brazil, and there are English rules. But what would you all rate it?
I'd give it a 7. I actually really enjoy it. It's a fun and it's quick, it's light, and it's tongue-in-cheek, and it can almost push your luck when you're going to collect records until you're just hoping you're going to get that record player. And it's fun to go around, people throwing dollars out there. It's clever.
I'm a little higher than that. I'm giving it a 7.5. I found it, again, very enjoyable. The money redistribution is a little odd, but I love the art. I like the things you're collecting. You're fighting over ice skates. And
2 of them.
Percussion instruments and a set of wine bottles. That just cracks me up. And then annoying relatives are coming in going, yoink, and taking something out.
Yeah.
The theme works for me,
good.
so it's a nice card game.
Yeah, I like it.
I agree.
For me, I'm going to give it a 6 overall. I thought it was fine. I don't know if it's a game that I would come back to. If somebody really wanted to play it, like I'd jump in and play it. But I felt like the bidding back and forth after a while was just slightly tedious to like, okay, take another $1. Okay, take another $1. But yeah, it's fine. It's a passable game, but not one I'm raving to play over and over again.
That's interesting. I'm giving it 7.5 also. I think that it is, the scoring-wise, like at the end of the game, I have these 2, that's 5 points. It's very Sushi Go reminiscent, right? Simple little set collection type things. And I think that's to its benefit because the splitting and that little auction phase is kind of where more of the meat of the game is. So I'm glad the scoring's pretty simple. Having those annoying relatives come steal one of your cards out at the end of the game is nice. That you win extra cards, you're like, well, this one wasn't going to score me a point anyway.
You could have that TV.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
Right. Well, I'm gonna keep the TV. You can have the one ice skate I got. So yeah, good, charming. 7.5 for me.
Well, there you go. That's, you want to...
Isso é moi?
Isso é meu.
It's mine! I'm Tom Basil.
I'm Joy Evans.
I'm Roy Kidding.
I'm Chris Yee, the true inheritor.
Oh.
It's mine.